So we want to talk about a couple things that are pertinent to GSAC and then talk about a couple things that are pertinent to the current situation. First of all, so these are our four things. Our 3-minute presentation competition is coming up. That will be postponed to the fall, but we're still going to do auditions in the spring. So they are going to be moved virtual. Auditioners can record a 3-minute video and upload to YouTube, and then there's an audition form where you can find a link. If you Google, RIT, Office of Graduate Education 3-minute presentation, you'll be able to find this form. And then a panel of judges will view them and choose finalists for the fall. We have a newsletter coming out. That should be coming out today or tomorrow. It'll describe what we've done so far in the semester and also upcoming things. The other thing is it will describe some of the COVID-19 updates that we will be addressing today and in the future. Content pre-work from home. We'll add some info about our upcoming events. We sent out a survey a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and we had a great response rate on that. And so we wanted to go over some of the things that came out of that, including what we're going to do in the future to address these things. So there were a mix of requests for both logistical help with things like internet and also help socializing and finding ways to keep social and active. So we had this, click all that apply, things that might help you. Working from home tips, online resource recommendations, help regarding resources, and we do have an emergency fund that I will talk about in a bit. Zoom happy hours, social messaging on Slack, and group Zoom Q&A with Dean Cummings were all things that people said they would be interested in. We are going to work on most, if not all of these things in the very near future. So like I said, the emergency fund is 2 slides away. I promise I'll talk about it. And then the group Zoom Q&A with Dean Cummings is going to happen this week on Thursday. You will have just received an email from Ronci today that says, click on this link to RSVP. And when you RSVP, you can submit a question if you have a specific question, but you don't have to. And you can RSVP and you'll get the Zoom link that way. So other things that were in the open-ended section of the survey was that there was major concern that people had been laid off from their on-campus or off-campus job, and they were running out of money for essentials like food and rent and other things. That's obviously a major concern. And again, this is where this emergency fund comes into play. And next slide, I promise. Things about tuition and fee reimbursement. So things like the parking fee are getting reimbursed in a prorated way. So for how much time is left in the semester. Tuition is not being reimbursed because courses are still in session and you still have access to professors and your classwork. Unfortunately, that might not be the answer that people wanted to hear, but it is the reality of the situation that the university wasn't prepared to reimburse everybody and are still offering university services. Tips and links for student mental health. The Counseling and Psychological Services, CAPS, on campus, we will be in contact with them regarding if they have any tips or ideas for mental health in this situation. They are unfortunately not doing specific telehealth things, but they are working on getting everybody in contact with somebody that they could do some sort of telehealth from home. And then finally, struggling in courses with professors who have not changed their syllabi. That's also a major concern. If you have a concern or a grievance about a professor or a class that is just not working for you and you've tried to contact that professor about it, you can always, of course, reach out to the dean or the assistant dean. Assistant Dean Ronci Ryan is very receptive to these sorts of concerns, and she will know what steps can be taken. You can also reach out to the dean of your college. So College of Science is my dean, and so that would be Dean Magalakis. I could reach out to her about these courses. And everybody in the administrative roles really wants students to be successful right now. So if there's something going on, you should 100% feel free to let somebody know. And then finally, people ask for maybe a student Zoom meet and greet. And so if you feel like you want to be more social on Zoom, we're going to try to figure out a way to do that. So the COVID-19 Emergency Fund is obviously something that just got put together. It's through donations of alumni. And this is information that we receive from RONC, the types of things that this emergency fund will cover. And the funding will come in grants in amounts up to $1,000. So these sorts of things are included. Technology and connectivity needs, textbooks, tuition and fees, housing, food, personal travel and automobile, medical and dental, childcare, and other emergencies. Unfortunately, it doesn't cover everything, so things like legal fines and expenses, study abroad costs, and taxes are not covered by the emergency fund. People might also have questions in terms of emergency money about what they can do legally, and there is an on-campus legal person through, Teresa, correct me if I'm wrong, through the Senate, student government. And so if there is a need for legal aid, there is information through student government where you could access that. Oh, I do want to mention also that the Office of Commuter Services has a really good email that they sent out with a lot of information about what you can do if you're a commuter and you have questions about some of these things as well. Okay, so upcoming virtual events. We have the Q&A with the dean and assistant dean. That's on Thursday at 2 p.m. Like I said, there's a link in RONC's email that she sent this morning where you can RSVP and you'll get the Zoom link back. And through there, you can ask questions that Dean Cummings will address during the Q&A. Other than that, it will be muted. It'll just be a one-way Zoom, and you can ask questions in the chat. GSAC is thinking about hosting a social trivia night over Zoom. We haven't picked a day or time, but we want all grads are welcome to join. You can work in teams or by yourself. We're going to have it zoomed in theme, which means that we're going to take pictures of things and zoom in very, very close to them. And the trivia will be, can you guess or figure out or deduce what this very close-up object is? And I thought it was funny because zoomed in. That's as good as I can do right now. We're working with RONC about getting prizes, so there might be a couple. We can't promise them, but we're going to try. And if it's well attended, we'll do more. So again, we're going to hopefully send out some sort of notice about this coming up, so watch for an email. And if you're joining us at the end of this meeting or you want to watch it again, we have recorded it and we'll put it on YouTube by 2 o'clock today. And you can find all of our meetings at bit.ly/GSAC YouTube. And this is a virtual meeting recap at 1. And our next meeting will be Friday at 11. So if there are any outstanding questions, thank you for joining us. Teresa will stop recording so we can do questions off the record.